How to use chicken feed to supersize and grow your business. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here with the chicken and some teeny tiny glittery food that indicates and shows an example of where this idiom came from. This is a relatively new idiom as far as idioms go. It's only about 150 years old, I guess a little over, more than that. In about 1830s or the 1840s, Davy Crockett is attributed to saying and writing this idiom to refer to a very small amount of money, or cheap, people being cheap, or something being really inexpensive. Chicken feed, of course, chickens can eat the little teeny tiny pieces of the grain that aren't really good for much else. So it's an indication and a way of being really, really resourceful, right? Chickens can eat the little teeny parts, and chicken feed can then become almost like the scraps, the leftover items that are available, and therefore it can be inexpensive. Now, back in the pioneer days, of course, people needed chicken feed to be inexpensive because they didn't make a lot of money. They didn't make a lot of resources. I remember thinking some of my first jobs that I worked for before I went to college and got my degree and started my career were chicken feed, right? Sometimes I was doing a lot of work for very little money in exchange. Now, I was not earning a lot of money, but I was learning a ton. And so if I look at the exchange of value, which is how we always need to approach cost versus value, expense versus what we're gaining from an exchange. It's an exchange of value that we provide and offer to our customers. We want to make sure that we're always offering them far more value than what they're paying us in exchange for that value. That's one of the best ways to use chicken feed to supersize and grow your business. Make sure that you're providing tremendous value for the people that you're serving so that they don't mind exchanging their money and their resources, whatever it is and however it is you take payment for what it is that you do with you. Chicken feed also reminds me that we want to be resourceful. We want to find as many ways to use things as we possibly can. And we want to find alternate uses for things like waste that's produced as part of our products and services, the things that we do. We want to make sure we're utilizing our energy, we're utilizing our resources to the best of our ability. And if we have byproducts of the things that we produce, I come from a manufacturing background, so to me, this was always a huge concern, is how do we eliminate, reduce scrap and waste, or reuse it for something valuable? When I worked for a big industrial bakery, one of my key pet projects was, how do we donate the excess food that isn't first quality, that we can't sell and don't choose to sell to our customers? How do we turn that into something? How do we get it in the hands of people that can use the food before it expires? Or how do we turn that into something of value? And so we arranged big charity drives and food giveaways, and we also then would send the waste, the leftover bread products and bakery products, to a refinery that would process it into animal feed, pig food and things, so that it didn't really go to waste. It wasn't just, filling up a landfill somewhere, although in the beginning it did do that, but then we changed over. So just because something doesn't cost a lot of money doesn't mean we're not getting great value out of it. I think of our emotions, and I think of the things that we can build into our businesses that add tremendous value, not only to ourselves, but to the people that are associated with our business, as well as the customers and the people we serve. Having strong principles and purpose and whys, and building upon kindness and in charity and love and gratitude. You can't put a price tag on that. You can't put a price tag on how you make people feel. You want to make sure that they're always having a great experience with your company and with your business. So chicken feed, I really actually like this expression. I don't know if I've ever said, well, I don't make chicken feed, or we don't pay chicken feed. And I'm going to say, I don't recommend taking it to the actual meaning and trying to gyp people in terms of paying them and the value that you create for them. I know people that have built their whole business on a framework of getting by on the cheap, getting by using interns and not paying them anything, getting free labor and free things and free resources. But what happens is that mentality comes from a scarcity mentality, and it goes throughout your organization. And when you build on a foundation like that, you're building on a foundation of sand, not on a foundation of bedrock or a firm foundation, and you want to make sure that you're building your business on a firm foundation. So I don't recommend, yeah, have interns if you're really helping them and giving them value, but it doesn't mean they have to be free or super cheap, right? You can pay your interns. Nothing wrong with interns. It's a great way for people to learn and get their foot in the door, but we don't want to be taking advantage of people by cheating them and feeding them chicken feed. So love to know your experience with this idiom, this expression, chicken feed. Have you had any experience with it? Oh, one other meaning that I thought was interesting that I really wasn't aware of is sometimes chicken feed means to leave a small trail. Like, to me, this is more like a trail of crumbs, but a small trail of information and clues in order to mislead or entrap people. I thought, well, that's an interesting twist on the phrase or the idiom chicken feed. But I guess I can see that people do that. I mean, look at our media right now. They're definitely leaving a trail of interesting information. I can't even call it news, but definitely we see that going on around us all the time. So chicken feed has a lot more meanings than we ever thought. So love to know your experience. I'll be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how might you use it in your business right now? Take care.